Yo, what's up people, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how Southside and ATLJ could make hard beats for future, so let's get into it. Alright, so this is actually one of my favourite beats and melodies I've ever made, but I'm just going to show you guys the melody real quick and show you what we're going to be working with. Alright, so the first sound we're using is this lead from Max Shooter's kit, and it's a really weird sounding one, so I'm just going to play it for you real quick. So as you can hear, it's kind of weird and it goes up and down pitch, so when you make a melody with it, it sounds all over the place, but we're going to put some effects on it to get to the end result. So this right here is the pattern that I used to start off the melody. So when it gets around here on the melody, you can kind of hear that it starts to go back into the note. So I am going to need to chop this up just to get the end result clean and on time. And just to explain quickly how I came up with the pattern, I'm just using F minor and I've got the highlighted scale here. So it shows me all the light grey ones. They're all in scale, and I've just played around with going between these two semitones here because that gives it a dark feel, and then up an octave on the F again, and then up to the G sharp, and then also some higher notes up on the C. So basically when making these dark chords and melodies, you just kind of want to play around with the notes going up and down. One semitone differences are usually good for making a bit of tension, making it sound dark. Alright, so once I had made that, I routed it to channel 1, and on channel 1 I've got an EQ. On this EQ I'm just taking out the low ends, and then the secret sauce to this one is half time. I've got it on the half loop and then 2 times mode. And then this little smooth knob down here, you want to put it all the way down, and that kind of makes it bounce up and down. It sounds crazy. And after I did all of that, it sounded like this. So you can kind of start to hear how it sounds at the end, except this kind of sounds a little bit choppy and weird, so we're going to have to chop it up and rearrange it so that it's perfect. Okay, so I've now chopped it up and sorted it out, so I just had to chop up the first part, stretch it a little bit, and then the last part I had to add onto it, so I kind of had to just take out the middle bit where there was a bit of choppy sound going on. And then it sounds like this all together. So the last thing to add to this now is the bass piano, which is actually the only other sound I've got going on. I just wanted the beat to be very simple, but also very repetitive and catchy. So this is the melody that I came up with, and now this is the bass piano. So now that we've done this, I'm going to show you guys how I did the drums. These are some of the craziest drums, so let's get into it. Alright, so before I get into the drums, I'm just going to show you the pattern, and then we're going to break down how I came up with the ideas. Alright, so the first thing I've added is this open hi-hat, which is kind of like really dull and low sounding, but I kind of liked it, and I've just put that on the first snare and then the third snare as well. And then next up we got the hi-hat. I didn't want to go too crazy, but I also wanted to keep it exciting, so I've got this pattern here. So I've heard that Southside really likes his triplet hi-hats at the end, so that's what I did there, and then these lower notes just make it a bit dark, and also I kind of feel like it stops the bounce ready to go back into it at the end of every bar, so that's kind of cool. Alright, so next up I've got the open hi-hat, and then I've got 3 different snares going on, all different sounds as well, so this is what those are all playing together. Alright, and last but not least is the Spins 808, and on the Spins 808 I'm just boosting this by 5%, and then the EQ I'm boosting by 5% as well. And then this is just a little tip, I hear this on some future beats, I'm not sure if it's an 808 in itself, but to recreate the sound, all I've done is I've faded in the 808 so it doesn't punch at the beginning, it kind of like fades into it, so I just increased the attack here by 6% to get the sound that I wanted, and then the 808 pattern sounds like this. The drum pattern that I just showed you here is actually different to when the beat properly starts. So here I've got this pattern, and then the piano comes in for a little break, and then the beat starts, and I've just taken the attack back down to 0 on here so the 808s are punching more. I've also increased the snare pattern and then done some more rolls at the end, and the same with the 808s. We've also got some risers and automation going on just to make sure that the piano doesn't clash with the 808s at certain points, and I've also got master volume here which fades out at the end. So altogether that is the beat and how I made it, and now I'm going to play it for you. Alright, so that is how to make hard beats for future, and if you guys want to see more like this, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.